Okay, everybody. Well, good evening and welcome to a very impromptu stream that was not planned. Normally, Friday nights are Friday night fights. And for the last 9+ months, every Friday night, I played fighting games. First with classic Street Fighter, then heading into Street Fighter 6's release, and then after that, we had Tekken 8. But I'm all fighting gamed out. I really am. Like, I'm beat. And so tonight, I was going to do something different. It's actually March 15th, 2024. And for tonight, today was the release. Well, I take that back because originally I thought it was today, and I actually was off by a day. It was yesterday. The Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection released on all platforms, and basically, it was really well. Let me put it this way: it was dropped on everyone without real build up. But when it did drop, it was a few weeks ago when it was announced, right? Like a month ago, everyone was like, oh my God, so excited, right? So excited because Battlefront is actually one of those games from back in the 2000s that is to this day still like well regarded. People wish that you could still play the classics, but the old games barely worked. Like the servers don't work anymore. Fans tried to save it and didn't really work. And then EA tried to pick up the reins and make two new ones in the 2010s, but they don't really hold a candle to the originals. People still love the originals to this day and wish that they were still fully functional, but they're not. So, this Battlefront collection, coming out, everyone's so super excited, me included. I played both Battlefront 1 and 2 on PC back in the day. Yes, I said it, on PC, because back then I was a PC gamer. I actually was not really playing consoles in the early 2000s. I was just PC only, and then I would play like Street Fighter games on console. So, basically, I was very excited for this collection, and since we were looking for variety on the streams, I knew that the fighting games were being phased out for now because I really need a break from fighting games. After 9 straight months, I need a rest from them. And people wanted variety. They're like, don't keep doing RPGs. Do something different. I said, okay, this will be the first opportunity to do something different. Let's do it. Let's do this collection. So I go and I get it and I do it, and it's broken beyond belief. It's so bad. What an awful collection. They didn't even try. So basically, here's the thing. Like, I don't care about how a game looks. I don't. And the game looks kind of like an early 2000s PC game, and I'm like, I'm okay with that. I don't care that it doesn't look stupendous. But the game has to be playable. And this game is so bad online. So I tried to play Star Wars Battlefront 1, okay? And I hit quick match, and it throws me into a match. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm trying to get the hang of how the game plays or whatever. And as I'm playing, all of a sudden, maybe once a minute, my character would completely lose control and go all over the map, like as the server tried to rectify where everyone was and what was happening because the lag is so bad. And then you get dropped randomly somewhere and then probably instantly executed, right? And then you try to shoot someone. And as you're shooting them, you can see everything you're firing is hitting the enemy and nothing takes any damage. No one takes any damage at all. You're like, so what ends up happening is everyone's just standing in corridors chucking grenades because no one could shoot anyone. So everyone's just throwing grenades randomly and things are blowing up all over the place. And that's pretty much the gameplay of the original Battlefront Online. It's pretty bad. I think I played it for about an hour. I was really trying to get a match that would work well, and none of them worked well. So then I was like, okay, let's play Battlefront 2. Because everyone's like, just play Battlefront 2. It's going to be way, way better. Okay? Basically, I booted up, and we jump into a match, and it's one of the Conquest matches. And I'm like, oh, this is exciting, right? This is the new 64-player mode. I think is it 32 on each side, something like that? I think that's what it's supposed to be. And I start to play it, and I realize once again, it's exactly the same as the Battlefront 1. None of the hit detection works. You could stand there like point blank at someone with a shotgun firing, and it won't take their health off. It's like the game doesn't know where anyone actually is at any given time. So it's a crapshoot if anything you're doing in the game actually registers as damage. On top of that, a lot of people are messing around and just doing the hero versus villain mode, which is fine, but it's good for like a one-off match and that's it. It's not a really competitive mode nor balanced, so it's not very fun to play. It's just okay for like 1 or 2 matches. I prefer the standard mode with all the regular troops on each side or whatever. I played Battlefront 2 for about 2 hours. I didn't hate my time with it. Actually, when we did Hoth, I actually took down an AT-AT twice. I was the cable shooter, while the guy, the pilot, was doing really good flying around the AT-AT, and we took out a few together. And I was like, oh, see, that was still exciting. I remember 20 years ago doing this on PC. I'm like, wow, that still has that feeling of awesome epicness when you do it. It's like you're in The Empire Strikes Back, right? But by the way, while we were doing that, the entire planet surface of Hoth that's supposed to be covered in snow instead was covered in a fuchsia patchwork. A huge rendering glitch that wouldn't render half the stage correctly, so all the ground looked like plaid, like purple plaid. I was like, what the fuck? What is going on? You know? So basically, I played it for 2 hours, and after that, I was like, nah, I don't think I want to play that again. Now, some people are like, are you going to play the single player? And I'm like, no. You know, the single player, a lot of people know it, but I didn't really play it back in the day. I bought those games to play the multiplayer, and I loved the multiplayer and played the hell out of it, but I didn't want to do the single player. So people were like, why didn't you get any trophies? We played for 3 hours. And you go to find out there's only 2 trophies that are multiplayer. Every trophy in the game is from the single player campaign. So you probably know where the effort went. They probably were just made the single player work and didn't care about the online. And the online is probably what most people are going to focus on long term. So pretty stupid. So then on top of all of that, the game has a streamer mode, which I enabled as soon as we started playing, but we noticed there was still music playing anyway. I just uploaded all my videos of this collection, right? Three hours worth. Every video demonetized on YouTube for the Star Wars soundtrack music. So the game's a mess. No hit detection that's proper. Dropping you from matches. Hard to find matches. Getting matches, they're laggy as hell. Doesn't work properly. Graphical errors. Game bugs. Horrid just performance in general. And then if you actually want to monetize any content, you can't do that on YouTube either. It's just like every possible level of fail for a launch of any game I've ever seen. Pretty bad. I would say the only game launch that I've seen that was definitively worse, there's 2. One's called Street Fighter V, and the other's called Overwatch 2. And the reason that those games were worse at launch is because they just didn't work at all. You actually couldn't play them. And they were online only, so there was 0 content. You would pay for the game and just sit there and stare at a screen that wouldn't go to matchmaking, so you couldn't play them. So those were definitely worse, okay? In this case, at least I was able to play. It just wasn't a fun experience. Again, like, I just don't like a multiplayer game where I'm standing point blank and blasting you with a shotgun, and it passes through your body, and you're like, haha, you know, I'm fucking Molecular Man or something, and you can't shoot me because it's it's my superpower that goes through and everything, right? It's like, what the hell, dude? So anyway, yeah, streamer mode plays music everywhere. Streamer mode played music in the menus everywhere, and then Battlefront 1 had a streamer mode, and Battlefront 2 didn't. So they didn't even add it to both halves of the collection, so what did you bother with it for? It doesn't make any sense at all. So that's why people were like, well, what are you doing tonight? And I said, well, we have some options. Option number 1, we could actually play Star Wars again, but I don't see the point. Like, there's no fun to it. It's just it's almost like a gimmick at this point. Laugh at how bad this game is, but you can't have fun playing it because it's not competitive, because no one can kill anyone. Now, we could very well do RPGs. Like, we have 3 RPGs that we're in the middle of, on 2 of which we're making a major push this week to finish. If you don't know what I'm talking about, please check out my Level 1 podcast from earlier this morning. It outlined big changes to the schedule. Basically, for the next 2 weeks, we are hyper-focused on beating both Baldur's Gate 3 as well as Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. There will be another game next Friday, but it's undetermined what it is yet. It's either going to be Dragon's Dogma 2 or it's going to be Rise of the Ronin. I don't know which it's going to be yet because we have to decide over the week. But basically, whenever we do, we're going to play it that launch day, and then we're going to put it on the shelf, and we're going to finish Baldur's Gate 3 and Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, and then go back to it so we can focus on it. Because I cannot juggle 10 games anymore, and I cannot juggle 4 RPGs. It's just never going to happen. So that's how we have to handle it, okay? But anyway, people were like, well, why don't you play all those RPGs tonight? Well, number 1, we're in the middle of a huge, epic dungeon that everyone wanted to see me do, the House of Hope. Not really a dungeon, but plot line in Baldur's Gate 3. Actually, what happened was earlier today, I'm on the podcast, and people literally said, Phil, do not play Baldur's Gate 3 tonight. Because if you do, we're going to be very upset with you. Because we love to be there live. We're the people who are supporting your streams of it. And if you do it tonight, we're going to miss it. We're going to be upset with you that you did it on a late stream. And I'm like, so you can't do that. Like a Dragon, I don't want to play because people don't know that I'm going to play it tonight. And already when we play Like a Dragon, we get barely 200 viewers. Can you imagine on a night that now I'm going to do like a 2-hour stream of it without announcement previous? We'll get like 50 viewers, right? Like no one here. So there's no point in doing that. And Final Fantasy VII, I already said, that's on the shelf too. I'm not playing any more Final Fantasy VII at all until we get through these other RPGs. I refuse to keep playing through 100 RPGs. I'm just not doing it. We'll go back to Final Fantasy VII if people want it in a few weeks. If not, we'll just drop it. And I mean it too. Like, it sucks. I think it's a good game. But I told you this would happen with RPG Overload. Like, I knew 100% this was going to happen. And now it's happened. And now it's like, well, that's what happens. Stagnation, too much of the same thing. And the one game that I buy to play to put variety into the schedule is a piece of dog shit, rip-off game. Pretty bad, right? By the way, hold on. Still Splinter, thank you for becoming a member tonight. I appreciate that, Still Splinter. Thank you for the support. Let's see here. What? Someone did a $1 tip. They said, I'm ready for March 22nd because the new Princess Peach, Dragon's Dogma 2, and Rise of the Ronin all come out at once, and I pre-ordered all of them. See, that's one thing I can't do, man. If I had no games in the rotation, like if we were going to finish every single game I'm playing now by then, I would totally do that. But how can I take on 3 games when I have 3 to 4 lingering other games? And that's the major problem right now, is I just don't have time for new games, so I need to focus and wrap up the games I'm playing, which is what I'm doing. Again, you want the full explanation, watch the podcast from this morning, okay? James Bond tipped $1, says, will you try out the original 007 GoldenEye? It's on Game Pass, and all Ninja games are on Game Pass. All Ninja games? What do you mean by that? All Ninja games? Ninja Gaiden games? I don't know what you mean. No, when it came out, I asked people if they wanted it, and they said no. The reports were that the collection was quite bad, so I never played it. Or not the collection, the remake or remaster, whatever it is, was quite bad. So I never played it, and no one really ever asked for it again. So no, I don't have real plans for that. Okay. All right, so basically, guys, you saw what I just said. Battlefront's off the table because it's dog shit. No one wants to see it. I'm done with fighting games for a while. I'm not putting myself back through stressful night of fighting games. And it makes no sense to continue any of the 3 RPGs I'm playing because no one's going to know that I'm doing it or show up and be upset after the fact when they miss it. So tonight, we are literally just going to chill, okay? We just have to chill. There's not going to be anything going on. It's just us talking and relaxing. If you're not okay with that, if you don't want to talk and relax with me, have a good night. I'll see you tomorrow when we go into RPG Overload, because tomorrow it's Baldur's Gate 3 and Like a Dragon, and we're continuing on with that schedule for a while, except for the React shows, okay? So, the thing is, most people have been asking for more streams like this. When I'm on my podcast and we get to the Q&A segment, no one ever wants to have it end. They're all upset when I have to end it and get to the gameplay. And then, a few weeks back, I actually had a poll, what do you want to see on the late stream? And people voted for just a hangout session. They wanted that over gameplay. So I said, you know what? We have an opportunity tonight where we could just relax and hang out with each other. So let's just do that. Let's just hang out tonight and let's see what, you know, how it goes. You toss me questions. We'll talk about various topics. We'll hang out for a couple of hours, and that's the attitude. Okay? Cool. So without further ado, thank you guys for hanging out and being here. If you contribute, I'll give you a shout out. If you tag me in the chat at DSPGaming, or actually all you have to do is type in DSPGaming, I think. You don't even have to type in anything else. It'll highlight and I'll talk to you. All right? Still Splinter asks, how bad was Street Fighter V on launch? Literally, it was the same as Overwatch 2. It's an online-only game. There's no other content. And you would go to boot it to matchmake, and it would just say matchmaking error. And it would just sit there nonstop saying matchmaking error. And it was like that for 2 straight days. Very few people got to actually play the game because it just didn't work at all. And the weird part about that was some people did, but it was all content creators like fighting game streamers. And people were like, how is it that only fighting game streamers can play and nobody else when we bought the game and they got it for free? So it was a big problem where no one could play the game. People were pretty upset. How was dinner? Dinner was great. Homemade chicken quesadillas. Very delicious. Had pico de gallo and some cheese and some sauce, like a chipotle sauce in there, and we dipped it in guacamole. It was super duper good. Have I seen Dune 2 yet? No, I didn't see Dune 1, so I didn't see Dune 2. If I were a radio DJ, what type of music would my best fit be? Probably either like classic rock or like 90s rock, because the 90s is when I was growing up listening to music, and I would know more about that than anything else. Probably those 2 time periods. Turtle Dude says, maybe we could do a Game Pass night. No, we're not playing games tonight. We're just hanging out. That's the point, is that not every stream has to be a game. And people have been asking for less gameplay and more just chilling, and that's what I want to do tonight, is just relax with you guys. This is good. It's the antithesis of last week. Last week, I freaked out on Friday Night Fights with Tekken. I decided never to play the game again. This week, we're just going to relax before we have to focus on major push in every RPG. Tonight is just a night to sit back and relax. Okay? There you go. Hope that makes sense. Oh, let's see here. A Dollar Tipper asks, what do you think of the live action and CGI Resident Evil movies? The live action movies start off promising and go right down the toilet. Like, the first one was not bad. It was a reimagining of the plot of the first game, and I thought, all right, lots of differences from the game, but also lots of similarities. So I like where they're going, and I wonder where it'll go next, because there were references to, various characters perhaps becoming Tyrant or something like that. And then the second movie comes out, and it looks like Resident Evil 2 and 3 combined, and you watch the movie, and you're like, this is nothing like Resident Evil 2 and 3 at all. They've bastardized the characters. They've bastardized the plot line. What happened here? And then every movie after that literally just becomes a guessing game of what random tie-in or character will show up but have nothing to do with the actual plot of Resident Evil, but be in it regardless, so they can pretend like it's Resident Evil. And every movie's like that. Now, the thing is, if you watch the live-action Resident Evil movies and you don't care about the games, like if you never heard about the games, you might actually like them. I'm serious. Like, they're not awful movies. They're kind of in line with, say, the Transformers movies. They're not intelligent. They're not groundbreaking, but they're action movie watches with some combat and explosions. You know, it's not horrid movie content, but it's also not anything that's going to make you gain a single brain cell, right? Like, you're going to lose them watching it. But for anyone who's a fan of Resident Evil, after the first one, you might as well never watch another one. They are so far off from what Resident Evil is and not in line with the spirit of the games, just to do their own thing with the movies. It's just really disappointing, in my opinion. Live action ones, CGI ones, I've only seen like 2 of the CGI ones. One of them was set in an airport. I remember that. It was an airport outbreak of zombies. I saw another one too. When I watched them, I just thought they were okay. These were some of the older ones that the CGI animation wasn't that great. But the plot seemed decent and looked like it could actually fit into the plot of like the Resident Evil lore, even though they're not canon. I thought they were entertaining, but I've only seen like 2, and they were the older ones. I know there was a recent one that just came out, right? Like last year, and I never saw that one. Have I ever thought about doing PC games like Train Simulator or Railroad Online? No, I'm not really interested in those kind of simulation games. Maybe, again, long-term if we're looking for like a late-night chill stream and we want something to just relax and you play a game like that, but we're really not in that situation right now. Okay, hold on. I received a dollar tip from Mario. Will you play Super Mario Land 2 apart from the basic subscription? It's a part of the basic subscription on the Game Boy app. The Game Boy app. I've never even heard of that. What is the Game Boy app? I know of Nintendo Switch Online. What on the hell is the Game Boy app? The Mario Land games are good. It's just the graphics are atrocious and the sound effects are a little wonky. But the Mario Land games are quite good if you like classic Mario platformers and you didn't have a Game Boy. They're great games to play. Would I ever consider playing Warzone or Halo Infinite for multiplayer fun? I played Halo Infinite when it came out, but it's fell apart of popularity, and I wouldn't play it today, no. Warzone I played, and again, I'm not interested in it. I don't like it. What's my favorite Saw movie? Saw 1? I've seen many of them, but I think after, like, the first 2 to 3, it gets so stupidly convoluted and just so ridiculous because you could tell that the plot that they came up with the ones later on is not the original plot, and they kept rewriting. So I think that's pretty dumb. And I'm not in love with the later movies. So, what PC games did I play back in the day? Man. So let's see. My PC days of gaming actually started off in the early 90s with games like Wolfenstein 3D, Doom 2. Duke Nukem 3D, Hexen, and then I got into the more simulation and strategy stuff. So, for example, the original Warcraft 2, Age of Empires, and some of its sequels, and then later on StarCraft, and Diablo and Diablo 2, and then I got into first-person shooters that were more 3D. So, for example, Unreal 2, Unreal Tournament, Quake 4 or Quake 3 Arena, Quake 4, like those. Not so much Quake 4, mostly Quake 3 Arena. And then I'm trying to think like how far it went, like how long I played them. Because I was playing when I was home, I would play those games on PC, and when I wasn't home, I'd be playing Street Fighter out, at tournaments and in arcades. And every once in a while, there'd be a home port of a Street Fighter game that was good enough that we'd get together and practice together at home as well on the consoles. But that whole era of like second half of the Nintendo 64 era and the second half of the PlayStation 1 era into the GameCube era, Dreamcast era, PS2 era, I was not a home console gamer of anything but Street Fighter. I ignored all those games and only played Street Fighter, or I played games on PC. So, continuing on, I played Unreal Tournament 2, the Battlefront games, obviously, I've mentioned. I'm sure there's more that I've mentioned over the years, but it's hard for me to remember back then, all that. So I couldn't 100% tell you exactly what else I played on PC, but I was a PC gamer for quite a few years there. Oh, the early days of World of Warcraft. I played World of Warcraft. So I played EverQuest, World of Warcraft, City of Heroes, City of Villains. I was huge into City of Heroes and City of Villains. I played the crap out of those games for a long time. I really loved that MMO formula. Okay. I did play Halo Master Chief Collection when it came out. It was a huge mess, so I played a few of the games, but it was pretty broken at launch. Now I hear the multiplayer is fine, but I have no desire to play the classic Halo games. Why don't I play co-op? I have. The problem with me playing co-op is very simple. Most people who tune into my streams today, they're tuning in either for progress in a specific game that they find entertaining to see me play. So, for example, the Elden Ring DLC. We will have a lot of people here for the Elden Ring DLC. People want to see me play an ultra-hard game, suffer, persevere, learn, and conquer. They love that about my streams. The FromSoft style gameplay is some of the best I do. Just take a look at Lies of P last year. It was the same. People absolutely love that playthrough, right? So Elden Ring, that's one thing people absolutely love. Some fighting game stuff. Not too much, but, when I'm into my groove of fighting games, people really like that, okay? The other reason that people tune into my stuff is to interact with me. They want to come to a stream and hang out, and even though I'm playing a game, they want to have some fun conversation and have a good time. The one thing I cannot do when I'm doing a co-op stream is hang out with the audience. Because instead of that, I have to co-op with people and talk with them and play, concentrate on online stuff like that. And therefore, I don't have opportunity to chill and hang out with you. This has happened many times over the years. I tried to play games like Destiny 2, Apex Legends, among others. And when I do that, people actually say, this is boring. We don't like those streams. Because all you do is talk to your co-op companions so you can win, but that's not fun to us. We want to hang out with you. So I literally stopped doing co-op. I had companions who I did it with, and when people give me feedback, we don't like that, I stopped. Remember, I used to annually play the zombies mode in Call of Duty. I stopped doing it per feedback of the viewers. They didn't like it. They want to hang out with me, and I can't hang out with you when I'm talking with others. So that's why I stopped doing it entirely. So there you go. Now, I don't know if it will ever change, but it didn't go well the times that I tried it over the years. So, yeah, I don't think I'm going to be doing it anytime soon. No Super Real Vibes. I wish folks like the Genesis Mini games, there's tons of them on there you haven't played on a live stream. I know. And when the Genesis Mini came out, remember, I played a bunch. I actually did. I probably played like maybe 7 or 8 of those games. Some to their entirety, some just for a taste. But the thing is, with retro stuff, basically people don't really like it. I'm going to be honest here, right? With the retro stuff. Sadly, a lot of people don't dig it. They think that the games are too old. And that sucks. I do think that's kind of stupid that you think the games are too old. I disagree. I think that classic gaming is a part of our history, and it's a part of great stuff. I always said I want to go back one day and beat Ninja Gaiden 1. I want to go back and play more classics, but it seems like whenever I try to do it, nope, people aren't very interested in it. So, that's why I really don't do it. Bloomkid is saying he's trying to super chat and it won't let him. I don't know why. I'm checking right now and everything on my end looks correct and working. So it's not anything on my end. It very well could be a YouTube issue. Probably what it is. Jade says it's cool just to talk. I've started playing. Hold on. I just started watching you play Sly 3 and Sonic is back in your background and Little Mac and Mega Man 2. Huh? Oh, I think you're saying you like the fact that my background has those characters? Cool. Glad to hear that. Oh, excuse me. Would I play retro games like OG Doom in a chill stream? I did. I already did. We played through the entirety of, what was it, Doom 2? I think it was Doom 2. We played it right before that last Doom came out, Doom Eternal, as kind of a cool lead-in. And the sad fact was, I liked Doom 2 way more than Doom Eternal. I thought Doom Eternal sucked, and Doom 2 was like, it's hard as shit, but it's a great game. So I had tons of fun with the classic, and then when we played the new one, I didn't like it. The heat, yes, the heat began today. All right. The heat began today, and it was pretty bad. Basically, we went up to maybe 60, 70 degrees. Almost 70, but not yet. I think the highest we got was like 65, 66 in the afternoon when the sun was out. But then it dipped back down. Yeah, here it is. 60, according to this, 64. The hottest it was today was 64. Okay. Tomorrow, it's going to be 72 to 73 degrees outside. Same thing on Sunday. But what that means is in this office, it's going to be, no exaggeration, in the 90s. For degrees Fahrenheit, that is. So tomorrow you're going to see me in a short sleeve shirt, dressed like it's summertime, because I have to, because it's going to be so hot in here. And I can't have my air conditioner in yet. It wouldn't make sense to have my air conditioner in yet because it's too early. It's actually later on this week. So not this weekend, but later on in the week, like Wednesday, Thursday, it's going to go back down to the 50s and raining again. So if I put the air conditioner in, screw myself. So, yeah. Heat wave. It is an unseasonable heat wave. Bloomkit, yes, your super chat did just work. You just tested it and it says, does it work? Yes, it worked. I don't know what happened. Maybe there was an issue with, perhaps there was an issue with YouTube chat for a few minutes there or something. I don't know. But it's working again now. Thank you for the super chat. Let's see here. I received a $1 tip. I'll say this, game developers or publishers need to get better release dates. These are way too many RPGs. We don't have 100 hours to beat every one. I've been saying that. Someone actually made it. I forgot to download it. Someone made a picture. I have to download it and add it to the stream. RPG Overload picture that I can use to explain RPG or how bad RPG Overload is right now. Hold on. Do you want me to get it? I'm going to get it. Give me a second. You know what? I'm going to try my new feature where I can pause recording and come back. I'm going to do that right now. For those watching on demand, I'll be back with the picture. Okay, there it is. RPG Overload. Yep. That's pretty much what I'm going through right now. I'm surrounded by nonstop RPGs in every direction, and I just can't get away from them. And now people want me to play, get this, Dragon's Dogma 2. People are campaigning that instead of playing Rise of the Ronin like I was originally going to do this coming Friday, that people now instead want to see me do Dragon's Dogma 2. Which, by the way, I'm totally okay with, but you have to understand, if that's the case, then we got to finish these. We got to finish Like a Dragon. We got to finish Baldur's Gate. We got to, and Final Fantasy's going to go on hold. I can't play this many RPGs at once. I can't. Okay? So, I guess we'll see what happens. By the way, someone came up with a great idea. Shout out to one of my moderators. I don't know if they want credit for it or not, so I'm not going to say their name. But one of my moderators came up with this idea. You ready for this? So if I do end up playing Dragon's Dogma 2 this Friday, on my day off, my wife and I download the Dragon's Dogma 2 character creator to my Xbox, and my wife makes a character for me. Not my character, but a pawn. Like, she creates a pawn that will then be one of my party members throughout the whole campaign, and it's her creation. So it's a companion she makes to be part of the playthrough. And I won't control it at all. She'll just do it, and then that'll be part of the playthrough starting Friday. That'd be pretty cool, huh? I think it would be. And I asked her about it. She's like, yeah, I want to do it. That would be awesome. So I think that would be pretty neat. Okay. I received a $2 tip from Chocoboko. The Steam version of Battlefront Remaster has negative feedback. They took a 3 GB finished game and turned it into a 73 GB unfinished game. Yeah. I mean, it's so atrociously badly unpolished and undone. You know, this is the kind of game that if they put months more work into it, it'll probably be fine. But it doesn't play nearly as good as the original did. That's pathetic. Like I said, shooting through each other is pretty bad for a game that's supposed to be a competitive shooter. I don't know how they possibly could have released it like that and not tested it and known that it was that bad. I received another $2 tip from DePoe. It's Lent, Phil. I'm stuck eating a delicious margarita pizza instead of a robust steak sandwich. Well, let me tell you something. That's so atrociously bad. I'm sure so many people are upset that they have to eat delicious pizza instead of steak. Right? Like, wow. I mean, so awful that you cannot eat steak. No, in truth, it wouldn't even bother me anymore. Like, I'm not a red meat guy. I'm not into red meat that much, so I wouldn't even care. Let's see here. I received a $1 tip from a troll. There we go. Ignore the troll. Will we ever go back to Minecraft streams? You know, funny enough, I told you guys over the last few years, you guys asked me that question. And I'm like, I don't think we can because I think my Minecraft world got deleted. I kept getting emails about you need to log into your Minecraft world and convert it over from, I want to say it was like Java Minecraft to regular Minecraft or something like that. Come to find out, that was about my PC version of Minecraft. Remember when I first played Minecraft like almost 10 years ago? And we jumped in, and it wasn't serious. It was me messing around and kind of going to other people's Minecraft worlds and stuff. So that original Minecraft world is what's lost, not the one on console. The one on console apparently still exists. Like, that was never touched. The console version was the more modern version. So if I were to download Minecraft and, like, boot it on my Xbox, it probably would have the old Minecraft world still there. Because I'm pretty sure that was the old version that they're talking about. Yeah. I think, anyway. That's what I think it said. But yeah, I haven't booted Minecraft in so many years, I don't know if it would even work. You know, I feel like there's enough newer stuff. There's enough newer stuff that I don't have to go back and play Minecraft. If I'm looking for chill content, there's a zillion other games we can play. Right? What's my favorite Final Fantasy summon from any game? Oh my god, I don't know. They're all different. I can't remember. I would either say, I don't know. You know, the Final Fantasy that I use summons the most in was 4. Because in 6, they're not really needed at all. In 6, it's just like the Magicite. You use the Magicite and Esper shows up, and those are the summons in that game. And I rarely ever use those. So in 6, it's really not something I used. In 7, I used Knights of the Round a zillion times once I finally got it. So it's probably Knights of the Round, or it's probably, you know, Bahamut in 4. Or Phoenix. Phoenix is cool because it revives your whole party. I don't know. The emails were talking about your account for Java Edition to convert into the Microsoft account, not to convert your world. The former needs to be done by a certain time. Oh, I never did that. I never did any of that. So if that's the case, it's gone. I don't know. Whatever. I don't really care. No Overwatch 2. I'll never play it. I wanted to play it launch week. They wouldn't let me. Then I tried to play it later in the month. It still didn't work. And I said, I've had enough. And I'm never playing it ever. And they can kiss my butt. King Lunar. Yes. King Lunar is remembering my original playthrough of Beyond Two Souls and my Peter voice for Willem Dafoe. Ah. Man. 11 years ago. You guys still remember that. That's pretty cool that you remember that. What? Those Who Real Vibe says it would be awesome for you and Kat to do a Firehouse Subs food review on new different subs you haven't tried yet. We have no plans on doing a co-op eating fest on stream. That would probably be pretty stupid. We probably wouldn't even be able to fit it in here, you know. Do I have a favorite Saints Row game? I'd have to say 3, because the first one I played recently, I thought it was all right. 4 actually went off the rails. I didn't like as much, so probably 3. Gabriel, I guess you've followed zero news about the Star Wars collection. It doesn't work. It's broken as shit. The servers aren't steady. It's hard to get a match. It's hard to not stay on or to not get dropped from a server. The hit detection is atrocious. You fire enemies, it passes right through them. It doesn't count. It's just a real shit show. They fucked up the thing totally. It's a total mess. I have no idea when we're going back to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, nor am I really too concerned about it. When I play it, almost no one shows up. The engagement is incredibly low. People obviously are not interested in it that much on this channel. It's the last thing on my mind. Right now, my mind is focused on beating Baldur's Gate 3 and beating Like a Dragon Infinite Well. Then it's focused on whatever the new game is Friday, whether it's Dragon's Dogma or Rise of the Ronin. That's my focus. And then moving forward there. If we go back to Final Fantasy VII, we do. If we don't, we don't. But no one seems to give a shit about it. So honestly, I'm not going to give a shit about it either if that's the case. Let's see here. I received an anonymous dollar tip. Okay, cool. I just want to say, FYI, because I'm getting a lot of dollar tips tonight, just so you guys know, those dollar tips, a big chunk of that goes to PayPal, because PayPal has a flat fee that they charge for any transaction. So when you send $1, no exaggeration, I get like 50-something cents out of $1. So even though this leaderboard says $10, I probably actually made about 5. If you do anything larger than that, they take the same small cut, but it doesn't completely negate the entirety of your contribution. I'm just saying, like, you're kind of like peeing money away to PayPal doing dollar tips. It's always been like that, you know? Oh, let's see here. Someone else tipped $1 and says, on April 26th, it's another dual release day. It's Stellar Blade and Sandland, and another annoying day to have multiple releases all at once like that. Yeah, you know, I'm interested in Sandland, but again, it's another RPG. It's like, dude, another one. The next game, I'm really interested in it. It's Akira Toriyama, who, rest in peace, sadly passed away recently. It's a universe of his I never stepped foot into. I've never read a manga. I've never seen an anime. I've never played a game. And it sounds like an interesting premise. And it's a fucking RPG. Of all things, it's an RPG. Like, you gotta be kidding me. Right? Eva Cowboy fan, me too. He says, that's a shame. I really enjoy seeing you play Final Fantasy VII. I'm sorry it doesn't get the attention it deserves. I'm with you. I told you, at the time, it was my most hyped game of the year. No exaggeration. And I'll be honest, I think the open world, after the second time I've done it now, the second open world area falls on its face because it looks exactly like the first one. So I think the open world stuff maybe is kind of repetitive, but the story elements, the combat mechanics are sound and fun. The graphics are great. I want to play the game, but it seems like no one wants to see me play it. So, sad, but I don't know what else to say besides too many RPGs. Again, I said it before and I'll say it again. All right? This is a real thing. In the span of 3 months, I've played 4 to 5 RPGs. There's actually more than this that I'm playing, right? And it's too much in too little of a time. If they were spaced out, like I said, what if? Let's start with Like a Dragon comes out in January, but then Final Fantasy came out in March, right? And then I don't know, Sandland came out in May. And another one comes out, if it's every other month, then it's fine. Then you can space it out, you can play it, you can enjoy it. When it's this much of this many drawn out RPG-style games at once, it's too much. It becomes overbearing, too samey, too much of the same. It's like I said, because a lot of people say, all these RPGs are different, right? How can you possibly say that these games are too much of the same when they're all different kinds of RPGs? I'll say, all right, so if you really, 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 really want to be semantic about it, right? We do semantics. Okay. Well, yes, the combat's different. Sometimes but let's be honest. What do these games have loads of? Okay. First of all, loads of playtime. All these games are long. So loads of playtime, loads of grinding, whether that means that you're in an open world going through missions or combat, right? Speaking of which, loads of combat, right? Loads of dialogue, loads of cutscenes, loads of story, right? Loads upon loads upon loads upon loads. Too many fucking loads. That's too many. You have to have less than that samey kind of thing. And even though you can say, well, the nuance is that the combat in this one's turn-based, but the combat in this one is action-based, it doesn't matter. They still feel like the same kind of games over and over. They really do. So it doesn't matter that, oh, it's a different universe, it's slightly different here. They're the same genre, all right? And it's too much. Even for me, I like them, and it's like, dude, I'm never going to finish any of them. Too many. Too many games at the same time of an insanely long length for no good fucking reason. Too much of the kind of content that's too time-consuming. We needed variety, and all we got for just the past 3 months is the same kind of game over and over. That's suicide for these game companies. And that's why right now, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth sales numbers are low. They're lower than Final Fantasy 16's and way under what they thought the game was going to sell. Why? Because it's the fucking 12th RPG in 3 months, and there's more coming. People talked about Final Fantasy VII for like a week, and then that was it. No one even talked about it after. You know, you thought it was going to be like bombarding the internet. No, everyone was on to the next one, the next one. That's it. That's the problem with too much of the same. So it is what it is. Only 2 cents. Excuse me. One's 2 cents. Did a $10 super chat and says, I think why Final Fantasy VII doesn't get you support, it has nothing to do with support. It has to do with people showing up to the streams in general. All right? The streams are very lowly attended. It holds such a dear place in people's hearts. A lot of people don't want to be spoiled. Dude, the game's been out for over 2 weeks, and I'm still in the second area, Junon. It's not, people are way ahead of me. It's not that people are getting spoiled. That's ridiculous. That's a really silly thing to say. There's absolutely no way that people are staying away for spoilers. Anyone who bought the game is loads ahead of me. Loads way ahead of me. More loads. See? If you had told me the first 2-3 days that I played it, that was the case, I would have been like, I believe you. Now we're 2 weeks in, and I'm still in the second region. That's not the case at all. There's not a single person staying away from my stream because they don't want to be spoiled. Okay. I received a $1 tip. And I'm not even going to read this nonsense. Okay. 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 Guys, remember, tag me in chat. Euphoric Joker says, I hope you revisit Arkham Knight sometime this year. I think you'll enjoy it a lot more in your second playthrough. We'll see. I mean, it's been 9 years now, right? It's literally been 9 freaking years since I played the first run. And I still remember the game pretty vividly, liking it, but thinking there's too much Batmobile. That was my one criticism of it. Way too much Batmobile. Oh, and way too much Joker, because the Joker died in the second one, but he fucking all throughout the third one was like, this is too much Joker. They couldn't let go of the character. It's pretty sad that he's like the main villain again. But outside of that, great game. Maybe I will go back and play it someday. Bloom Kit with the super chat says, I think it's more the Persona 8 Final Fantasy VII's launch. Hold on. All my friends have played that instead of including me. The game did better than a lot of people thought. No, and you see, I actually watched my wife play a little bit of Persona 3. She liked the game. Persona 3 Reload, let me clarify. She liked the game. The problem was the dungeon, which we all know. That Tartarus dungeon is fucking boring as shit. It's so repetitive. It's so annoying. It's a huge grind. And even I complained about it when I first played it. I said, I don't get it. In Persona 4, each dungeon is themed towards a certain character or a certain style, right? In Persona 5, even more so. Why in Persona 3 is it all the same? Because the Tartarus dungeon is its own thing, and then you do have mini dungeons that are based on story elements later. But yeah, like the Tartarus dungeon is so boring, and she couldn't get through it. Like, she was like, dude, it's too boring. I can't keep playing this game. So she only played it maybe like 15 hours, and she gave up on it. But yeah, no, I hear you. I saw her play it. Graphics are outstanding. Tons of new voice acting. It was amazing. I was like, wow, listen to all this voice acting that wasn't in the original. I was blown away. I was like, it feels like it's Persona 5. It really does. So maybe you're on to something there, right? Maybe that could be the case. So, Sarah, no, I'm not going to be playing Final Fantasy VII while Kat plays Power Wash Simulator. First of all, she already beat it. Secondly, I like to watch her play games. That's very fun and relaxing. Like, it's our time together. She'll be playing a game, and I'm there to watch and commentate on it. And, you know, it's fun. It's like hanging out, doing something fun and relaxing together. That's what we like, that time together. I don't want to be in here playing a game by myself. The hell with that. So, Ones to Sense did another whopping, this case, $50 super chat. Thank you so much, Ones to Sense. Wow, there's a huge contribution for tonight. And Ones to Sense says, I'm still in the first region of Final Fantasy VII. That's why I don't watch when you stream it, but I appreciate your words and reasoning. Yeah, you have to understand, the rate that I play games these days is slower than most people. Most people are buying one game and they play it to completion. And then they go on to the next game and they play it to completion. So anyone who bought Final Fantasy VII, most people are past the first region. Most people are probably like 30, 40 hours in. I'm barely 20. So, okay, we got more tips. We got a $1 tip here from a troll, so I ignore it. I literally just ignore every single tip from this idiot, but they still keep trying to tip me. I don't know why. I I got a $3 tip from someone who says, I'm disgruntled. I think you made a huge mistake dropping Rebirth. I'm disappointed. I hope you go back to it in the future. Well, of all the games that I'm playing right now, Rebirth is the one. Of all the RPGs, I should say. Rebirth is the one that, number one, I'm the least into. I'm only about 20 hours into it, of an 80 to 100 hour experience. I'm only 20 hours in. Okay, I'm not in any home stretch to beat it. And number two, it's basically tied for the least attendance and engagement. Like, I would say, Like a Dragon, I knew that was going to be the case, so that's why I made it a late night chill stream. I had no clue Final Fantasy VII was going to be in exactly the same boat as Like a Dragon. There have been days, just listen to this, there have been days where I'm on my podcast and we have 400 viewers and a bunch of people contribute, and I've switched over to Final Fantasy VII and we went down to 200 viewers and not a single contribution came in for over the 3 hours that I played it, and the people in the chat were completely bored and saying, man, this game sucks. I can't change that. And the fun part is I'm playing it and liking it. While that's happening, I'm actually playing it and enjoying it. And everyone's like, oh, this is terrible, this sucks. You know, what it is, there's probably a certain audience for it, and it's not my audience at this point, which sucks because I love that kind of game, but I can't make people like something. I just, there's nothing I can do about that. Jessica Horror Black did a super chat, says, have you seen Last Night in Soho? No, it's a movie, right? I think I saw it on the Prime Video app, like listed there, but I have no idea what it is or what it's about. I have not seen it. Thank you for the super chat, Jessica. Felix Domain says, I was enjoying the Battlefront collection. That makes one of us. I mean, again, it's not fun when you're playing a game where you're supposed to be based on skill and shooting people and the bullets don't register. Like, it's like, what's the point of playing? Why are you playing the game? Imagine if you're playing Street Fighter, but every time you tried to hit someone, you just passed right through them. So the matches took way too long, and it was not competitive or fun in any way. Like, it's just not worth playing, right? Bloom Kid, thank you for a super chat. I think the Reloads Tartarus is way better. They made it so much more enjoyable, but I agree 4 and 5 have more interesting dungeons. Yeah, I think that the Tartarus is just not fun. It's not. It's a grind. It's meant to be a big ongoing challenge of the game, but it's just not meant to be fun. And that's a problem because it's so much of the game. And I actually found out when I was playing Persona 3, I guess that's how the previous Personas were as well, correct? That it wasn't until 4 that the dungeons ended up being themed towards the story and more interesting. So, Slayer, good evening. He says, I'm here for the stream. It's 10:56 a.m. now. A shame that you will mainly focus on story missions for Like a Dragon and not really do the sub-stories. Slayer, I mean, I think you've seen what's going on. I mean, I'm no exaggeration. I wish that this was. My views are way down. My engagement is way down. My support is way down. Everything on this channel is way down for 2 months now. I have to do something to make a change. I can't just sit here and ignore the problems and be like, yeah, I think I'll just go out of business now because I'm playing 7 RPGs that are never finishing because I'm doing all this content. I can't do it. I have to do a change here to fix stuff. And so that change is focus in, beat the RPGs I can as quick as possible, get to a different variety of games. I have to do it. It's the only way I'm going to do stuff here. You know what I mean? Theodore. This is super chat. Says Red Bar is watching. Hope you have a good stream. Okay, thanks. I don't know what the heck Red Bar is, but thank you, Theodore, for the super chat. Don't know what you mean by that. Okay. It's funny because 90s guy says, I saw you're powering through Baldur's Gate 3 now, and I think that's actually a good thing. There's too much stuff in Act 3. I see that as a mega fan of the game. Yeah, I mean, look how many quests are in Act 3. It's insane. And it's supposed to be like you're leading towards the finale of the game, and it's like they've loaded so much shit into that act. You just want to, like, what is going on? Dark Goldbox says, it's weird. I'm playing Battlefront 2 on the dedicated servers on PS5. I haven't had any issues. All I know is I hit quick match. And whatever matches I get into, most of them don't work right. I'm just, like, shooting through everybody. It doesn't work. I don't know what to do about that. Heinz Darkness says, if your core audience doesn't like RPGs, what do they like? Number one, I don't think it's a matter of they don't like RPGs. Okay? I don't think it's a matter of they don't like RPGs. It's a matter of they don't want too much of the same thing at once, right? Just like, for example, it's not like they don't like fighting games. They just don't want 9 to 10 straight months of fighting games. You understand? Street Fighter 6, people actually enjoyed but then Street Fighter 6 for 9 months followed by 2 months of Tekken 8 is too much. You need a break, correct? Right? That's what I mean. Like, it just said, if there was an RPG that was one major RPG, 80 hours, and I could play it for 2 months and beat it in 2 months, and it was the only RPG I was playing, and I was balancing it with other stuff, there wouldn't be an issue. The problem is, I have to do it again. I can't believe I have to do it again. You ready? This is the problem. They all came out within 2 months. And I was playing Baldur's Gate 3. So I'm playing 100 RPGs at once. It's never going to work. It's never going to work that way. Something has to give. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Let's see here. I might enjoy Fortnite Zero Build. No, I won't. I don't care about Fortnite. I have no desire to ever play it again. I know what it is. I've played it a million times. I don't give two shits about Fortnite. I will never enjoy it. Tubs, thanks for being a member for 12 months. Is good call. Power playing Yakuza. Yeah, I mean, it's what we got to do. We got to do what we got to do, right? We're going to have to push forward and push through and do as much as we can and get it done so we can do other games. I can't be playing the same shit nonstop. I can't. It's too much. Slayer says it's just a shame some of the side stories are integral and homage to all the different Yakuza and Like a Dragon sub-stories in the game, especially the reminiscent and Date links. I'm going to be doing the quick stuff that I can. I'm just not going to be doing 100%. Can't. I'll be doing it forever, you know? If you do try it again, there's a search option under quick match and selections for dedicated servers. I'm never doing it again. Every video got demonetized. Literally every video of Star Wars got demonetized because you can't turn the music off. And the music plays in menus and shit, and you just get demonetized anyway. So fuck that game. Do you have any movie or TV recommendations? No, I haven't been watching any new recent movie or TV shows. Nope. My wife and I have been casually watching people play. We watched someone play. What the hell was it? Oh, Assassin's Creed Mirage randomly, and now we're randomly watching someone who played Horizon Forbidden West. It's just we're just kind of picking random playthroughs and watching them these days. We're not even watching TV shows. I think what streamer mode was supposed to do is turn all the music off, and it doesn't. It turns some of the music off, and then the music still plays other places, so it doesn't matter. Nova, I already answered that earlier. I'm not going to reiterate. Let's see here. I got a 250 tip from Beazle. You find more people watch and contribute when you play retro games and just bought a new chair. How is your chair? No. In reality, it depends on what you mean by retro game, okay? Because, for example, if I play what I consider a retro game, I consider games like Mario Brothers, classic Zelda, old Final Fantasies, Chrono Trigger, that kind of stuff. That's what I consider retro games. For a lot of people, retro games are like PS1 and PS2 games. I don't think those are retro games. You know, for me, it's not that old. You know what I mean? But for some people, those are the games they grew up with, right? So, depending on the game, if it's like a fan favorite game that I've never played and people request it and request it and request it, and then I go and play it, yeah, sometimes those games do really well. Typically, when I play older games, what I consider a retro game, it doesn't do well at all. You know, I've tried it many times in my career. I play a game like Earthbound. I'll play a game like Final Fantasy 4 or 6 or, and I say, this is a game near and dear to me. It makes me emotional when I play it. I love it. And we get a core audience that likes that. But for the most part, no. Most of the people don't come out to play those for whatever, or don't come out to watch those for whatever reason. We'll always have like low attendance. Every once in a while, support will be good because someone will be like feeling so reminiscent for themselves and they'll do like a big contribution and say, gee, thanks for playing it. But for the most part, no. Doesn't seem to resonate with my audience. For whatever reason, Okay, I received a $2 tip. Gorilla Pimp, who's been banned 7,000 times, thinks that by tipping that they're going to get unbanned. They can't understand the fact that Gorilla Pimp, you burned way too many bridges with people, me and others, and people don't want you back. If I were to unban you, people would just complain nonstop anyway that you're back. The best bet that you can do is to do what many other people have done, is to just make a new account and come in and no one will know it's you and just behave this time. Stop asking me to unban you because I'm not going to. People are going to have an issue with that, okay? How is the chair? My chair is comfy, Beazle. This is the most comfy chair I've ever had because it actually has really, really good lumbar support and back support. These two pillows, I don't know how well you can see them. So this pillow is very supportive, much better than those crappy back pillows you'll see on other chairs. And there's a lumbar pillow down here. There's a piece of fuzz stuck to the chair right there. There's a lumbar pillow down here. See this? It's thick padded foam, and it's really a nice solid support on my lower back. It's really good, and I've never had that before in any chair I've ever had. So when I sit down on this chair, immediately I get great lumbar support in my lower back, which I've always needed. I've always had a bad back. I never had that in any sitting arrangement I've ever had before. I sit back like this and I'm like, oh my God, right? Like, this is really, really good. I love this chair. The only bummer is it creaks and squeaks, but you can't hear it anymore because now I have filters on my mic. You hear that? You hear that creaking? If not, the filter has filtered it out. You can't hear it anymore, so you'll never hear it. Good stuff. Okay, Han Solo did a super chat and says, top 3 of your favorite games of all time. I don't have a top 3 favorite games, but I have favorites of the genre. So, for example, like, my favorite platformer of all time is Super Mario World. My favorite fighting game is Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. See? My favorite RPGs would probably be Final Fantasy 4 and 6 and Chrono Trigger. All right? So, that's how I work. I don't have an overall favorite game or anything like that, but I have favorites in genres, so I just threw a few out there for you. That was Han Solo 989. Okay, shout out to Only Iced Coffee re-upping their membership and says, I've been MIA for a bit, hope all is well. Well, let me put it this way. I've been through the ringer these last few months, all right? I've done some good improvements to my streams. The audio is sounding a lot better than ever before. The volume levels are better. I have pop filters on my mic, right? I've been trying to improve things as much as I can. But the game selection has been poor, I feel, because it's too samey with these too many RPGs. Because of that, my viewership, my engagement, everything's down right now. We need a reinvigoration of new games that are going to bring freshness to the channel. That's number 1. Number 2, yeah, those fake gifted memberships that went all through January and all February really hurt me badly, and I haven't recovered. You know, this channel had between 500 to 800 paid legit memberships, and I checked the other day, and it looks like, no exaggeration, probably right now we have between 200 to 300, and that's it. So I've seen a giant decline in revenue because of that, and also because of the fact that we're doing a million RPGs, and all that's down. I mean, super chats and everything have been down too. So basically, it's been bad these last few months. I'm hoping by the end of this month, we're gonna have a big reinvigoration with some of the new games I'm gonna play. We got my birthday coming up. That'll be a way to have a special marathon event, and hopefully then in April forward, we get excited for new stuff. We'll see. Let's see here. Better Call Darth Maul. Tip me $1. Says, any show recommendations? I'm watching an Apple TV show called Manhunt about hunting down John Wilkes Booth after his assassination of Abraham Lincoln. No, like I said, my wife and I have not been watching any shows as of late. We're just watching some randomized playthroughs on YouTube, and that's about it. I don't have any recommendations there at all. Sorry. Oops. I thought I heard Jasper's bell jingle. Hold on. Let's see if he's around. I thought I heard him in the hallway, but I guess not. I thought I heard him in the hallway, but I guess not. Only Ice Coffee says, I hear ya. Or I feel ya, excuse me. I'm seeing that you are still playing Baldur's Gate 3 and a few others like a Dragon, Final Fantasy 7. And yes, I feel you on memberships. I knew that was going to happen a month or two after. Yeah, because when everyone on this channel, literally everyone got a free membership. Everyone got a free membership. There was thousands of gifted memberships. No one paid for like 2 months. So because of that, my revenue went down, and now a lot of people didn't renew. And it's like, I feel like some people would renew if there was a game that would bring them back, but I'm in the middle of 3 RPGs at once. It's like, Oh, Jade says, man, first Star Wars Jedi Survivor, now Star Wars Star Wars Battlefront Classic. What next? You know, he's right. What is going on with Star Wars games being completely unoptimized and running like shit at launch? I didn't even make that connection. Jedi Survivor was the same. You remember how bad the frame rate was? It was making people sick. We were trying to play the game, and the frame rate was so choppy. In part, it was making people sick to their stomach watching. And they were like, oh, God. And now here we are a year later, and this Gate Collection's a piece of garbage. Like, what the heck, dude? I didn't even make that connection until Jay just brought it up. Thank you, Only Ice Coffee. 10 gifted memberships to the channel tonight. Congratulations to the following people. Nemesis T-Type, 90s Guy, Daniel Ye, Smoking Socks, A. Ray, Gwen B., Ace Fondue, Gravemaker LP, Arnex, and X Coca. Congrats to all of you. Thank you so much, Only Ice Coffee, for supporting the channel. Ones to Sense did a super chat. $10. I'm apparently getting hate for sending you love. I sent you a DM tonight on Twitter. Jay would love to talk to you. Please let us know. Oh, I have no idea what you're talking about. Just so you know, I do not really check DMs like that because sadly, what happened was last year, okay? X, I guess, changed everything. I don't know what they did, all right? But all of a sudden, I started getting absolutely bombarded with negative stuff in like DMs and shit on X. And I was like, I'm not going to even open it. And I haven't. Like, I literally don't open my DMs on X anymore. So I get the feeling what's going to happen is one day I'm going to open it and there's going to be like 14,000 messages in there that I've never seen. And I'm just going to close it again. Because I don't know what they did. It didn't used to be like that. And then all of a sudden I noticed I started getting a million things. I was like, what the fuck did he do? Did he change all the settings? Because I had it so that that wouldn't happen. And all of a sudden, I got like monster bombed with a million DMs and shit. I was like, what the fuck? I'm not even touching that with a 10-foot pole. I'm staying away from it. So I have no idea. I'm not kidding. This happened like the middle of last year. So anyone DM'd me in like the last 9 to 10 months, I haven't seen it. You know, watch what's going to happen. I guarantee you I'm going to open up. There's going to be like one-sided conversations for like 4 months. Watch this. I guarantee it. I guarantee that shit's going to be like, someone's been thinking that I was like ignoring them. I didn't have it opened it. I don't care. I don't want to be bothered with that shit, you know? So anyway, ones to Sense. Thank you for the super chat. But yeah, I'm probably never going to see whatever DM you're talking about. If you want to talk to me, email me. Email me, darksidephil@hotmail.com. That's why I got that open email. 90s Guy gifted a membership and it went to Felipe Baxter. Congrats, Felipe. And thank you very much, 90s Guy, for supporting the channel tonight. I appreciate that. Euphoric Joker says, did you see gameplay trailers for Omni-Man and Peacemaker Mortal Kombat 1? No, because I don't care about Mortal Kombat 1. It sucks. It's a terrible game. I would never want to play it again. Therefore, I don't care about the DLC characters. The Blimp says, I am a member on this channel. I try to give small amounts of super thanks on DSP Throwback. I'll be a member on the React channel, but I can't really afford it. I appreciate all you do. No problem, man. Again, don't ever, and I say this, I've said this over and over and over. If you're a fan of my content, you don't ever have to apologize for not contributing. Don't do that, all right? Because no one should feel that way. Like, oh my God, I wish I could help more and I feel bad because, no, you don't have to feel bad. You see how this is how the community works, is we come, we hang out, we have a good time. When people can contribute, they do. If you can't, don't sweat it. It's all good, right? It's a group effort. That's how I've always stayed in business. That's how things have always been successful for me. Things will always go well. It's never going to be this. I'm not one of these chicken little, the sky is falling people that because we had a couple months that things were rough here, where it's slow, that I'm going to lose everything. It's not like that. All right. It's not, we'll get through it. I feel like we're on a good pace. Once I get through this, RPG overload that I'm in right now and we get into other games, I think those things will come back. You don't have to worry about that, man. All right. I appreciate you having the sentiment, but don't sweat it. It's all good. The email address is the email command. Exclamation point email in the chat. The command will give you the email address. Okay. Let's split the part. We're halfway through tonight's stream. So let's do it. Let's split the part, take a quick break. I'm going to come back. There'll be another hour of me just chilling with the audience. I hope that if you're here live, you're enjoying it. If you're watching it on demand, I hope you're enjoying it. Again, talking a lot of different topics. I absolutely knew this would work. Do you understand how this is better than me just doing a random RPG night stream that people weren't expecting? Much rather would talk with you guys and hang out and have a good time than just randomly cram in a game. So, all right. I'll split the part. We'll be back with part 2 soon.